Okay, good stuff. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to LinkedIn for Breakfast. We are going to be talking about how to get 100 plus impressions on your posts and what's the formula, how does it work. And also, the cool thing about today is I've got a custom GPT, an AI tool that I've built specifically for this task to be able to help you to give you a head start. And I'll be sharing that with everybody who is on this live call today. So hold on to your horses, my pedigree chums, because I hope this is going to be lots of value. We'll be done for about quarter two today, and we'll have a bit of a time for Q&A at the end. Okay, right. So what are we all doing here? So before we start all this madness, let's just jump into the slides and just kind of go through why do we do this and what is this kind of LinkedIn for breakfast stuff. So the as I said, the title for today is the LinkedIn post forum behind 100,000 plus views. The mission here is to make this the best place for you to come and actually learn as an entrepreneur how to harness the full potential, kind of really kind of get underneath LinkedIn for two things really. One is business development, that's the lead generation piece. And the second, which is very much what we're going to be talking about today, is around brand expansion, getting more people to see your brand, getting more people to recognize you on LinkedIn. And our vision here is to make this the best place on earth to learn LinkedIn for free. That's the game plan. Super focused on that, and we're all about trying to really, not charge you anything for this. The whole point is to give you some tools to get you success on LinkedIn. And we do this through this cool community that we created, this school group. And so Flora will probably at this time be putting the link to that in the chat. But if you're watching this on the replay or you're not on the call, simply just go on to here and just type in LinkedIn for breakfast. LinkedIn will be one word. And there you go, LinkedIn for breakfast. And that's there. And then this is the school community here. Simply click on that, and then you'll be able to join 4,500 members in there already, all sharing and liking and commenting and looking after each other and working these pods to be able to like and share each other's posts and loads of other things in there. So do jump into there. It's well worth the time. Great. So what are we doing today? So one, we're going to be kind of reviewing what I'm seeing in terms of the algorithm on LinkedIn, and actually what is it that I'm seeing in terms of helping these big rushes of views. And then the second thing is how do you create that viral post? So actually, what are we going to be doing, creating it, and then giving you an AI tool to be able to help that. And if we got time, we'll be then opening up a bit of a Q&A on it. Okay, so let's just go into this kind of the obvious. Why actually post on LinkedIn? And the whole point of this is that you want to be able to put out assets and thought leadership constantly to be able to put your name above all the noise. You want to be able to show that you are a master of your topic and people should be connecting and inquiring over how you do what you do. Also, you want to be showing your personality. And I always say to people, do the scroll test to understand why this is vital. Because if we look at this and go on to LinkedIn, no, that's my group. If we go onto LinkedIn, so I've got how many people have I got? I've probably got 20,000 people that I'm connected with, right? And so I wanted to be able to stand out. So when I post, it's not going to go out to 20,000 people. When you do the scroll test, so if I just go click on new posts, these are going to be the most up to date posts, right? And so when you scroll, just look at how many actual posts that you see from your first degree connections in your feed. So first of all, Francisco here is a post. So this is the first thing that LinkedIn gives me from a connection. The very second thing is promoted. So this is an ad that has been promoted to me. So we've got an ad and we've got a post from my first degree connection. So that's one of each. Then I've got one from my second degree connection here. So it's not even my first degree connection. And that's only because someone's liked this, right? So now we've got two posts that are not my first degree. So if you're connected to people and you're trying to get your content out, just remember that you've only got one out of three so far that actually is getting into your connections feed. Then we go on and right, okay, now we've evened the kill, 2 all, so it's first degree connection. Then we go down and there's some event, webinar promotion. So LinkedIn's now promoting some sort of event thing. So that's 3-2 for this. Now we've evened the killed 3 all because this is a first degree connection. And then we're going to go down and there's a second degree connection here. And it's because someone likes this, right? So again, it's not my connection. And then there's another ad. So now we've actually got to 5-3, right? And then there's a job recommendation. So that's 6-3. And then it goes back to the first degree, so 6-4. Can you see that actually less than half of the posts in your feed at any time will be from your first degree connections? And so it's vital that you get yourself out and actually you try and spike the algorithm so your post gets that higher reach and that gets delivered through as many of your first degrees. And of course, the trophy here, gang, is that there was 2 occasions there where it was my second degree. So this is my second degree connection, but it was because this person here, who I imagine is my first degree, liked it. Okay, so it's having that ability that once you get your posts viral, then the fact that your first degrees start to like content, then it might get delivered to their second degrees as well. So that's super important. And there's a bit of a methodology for doing this. So we've got to be able to achieve that kind of virality on our posts. Now, what I always say to people is then start to understand what your posts look like. So on the left-hand side, you can go down to here. You can see how many people are viewing your profiles and how many post impressions you're getting. Click on this and then go to 360 days and show results for impressions. And then once you do this and it loads, scroll down and then start seeing top performing posts. And then try and work out, just click see more, work out within your top performing posts, what is it that does well, right? So when I look at these top performing posts, these ones are the ones that are sort of head and shoulders above others, so a few there in over the 100,000, a few there in the 70,000, 60,000, 30,000, and then it starts to go into the low thousands, right? And there's a formula for it. And I just wonder if you've got a similar result where you're seeing something that actually makes the difference, or what is the thing that did particularly well on your post that you can go, oh, okay, that's interesting. That is the reason why that did well. Why? Why did that do well? Well, whenever you're looking at these type of posts, this is quite a nice view to see it. The reason why is that if we go back to the feed, in fact, I'm just going to open up another tab and just get my LinkedIn up because I want to flick between the two. You'll see here that you've got a level of intro text and then a picture, but they've got to be able to click see more to be able to read it. And so first of all, when you look at this, start to see what your intro text is, because the nice thing about this view is that you can actually start to see it, right? And it's like writing an ad. When I was running my lead generation agency, the first one I did, Yum, we did a lot of Google ads for clients, and it was always around those sort of 2 sentences that was the most important thing to get people to click through from a Google search result. And it's the same with LinkedIn. You've got to look at these 2 sentences because this is all that really matters. Look at my first one here. So I had a rant about people having flags on bridges, right? So if flags on bridges make you uneasy, the answer isn't few of them, it's more, show more, right? So I'm leaving a kind of cliffhanger. Like the answer is more flags. Oh, okay, that's unusual. Why would we, if the answer is, if I'm having a rant about them, why would I say more, right? That's interesting. Okay. And then I've got a free AI bot that tells you why your profile isn't converting and exactly how to fix it in under 3 minutes. Oh, okay. Do you see how these are like newspaper type titles? Those opening sentences are vital, right? This was one that I had about Angela Rayner and the fact that, small businesses' taxes are going up whilst she's evading or avoiding paying stamp duty, right? And so I deeply regret the error was the quote. How Angela Rayner described not paying the correct stamp duty while her government drives taxes high and forces business owners out of business or out of the UK. Right? Again, did really well, because an amazing opening sentence. Plus, topical. This Angela Rayner, which is an MP in the UK, got caught for avoiding tax, right? So topical, and that happened that week and went crazy, right? This one, the flags on bridges in the UK, topical, happened that week and what was happy was a thing, and so commented on it. This not so topical, but this is more lead generation. This is more what I'm renowned for in terms of LinkedIn profiles and talking about LinkedIn. And so this was a call to action post with a value, giving a gift away, getting the ability to actually do something quicker, easier, better in 3 minutes. So this is like a lead generator, and we'll go into that a little bit more, and these opening ones. But the first thing is, there's no point me telling you about anything about the post, but the first thing we've always got to look at is, I'll scroll down again, this opening sentence, these opening two sentences, because that's all you get. Stress and overwhelms are noisy. Here's how to transform the chaos into clarity, right? Here's That's all you get. And the second thing you get, which is vital, is the picture. Okay? So there's only two actual things that really make the difference. A picture and a bit of text. Now, this one, and I know Tom very well. He's a client of ours, but this one is not so good because the picture is excellent. 10 points of the picture because it's personal. People are interested. People like those pictures. We'll talk about that more in a second. But the opening sentence, at it again. Well, at what again? What is it? What it would be so much. We need more meat on the bone when we talk about that at it again, right? But picture is good. So when we think about image, what we see that does well is these kind of selfie type posts or pictures of things that are related. And if you can bring those both together, that can be a massive help. So, for example, here is the post I did on this Angela Rayner one, and so I got a picture of me at the desk with her up on a screen, and it's just a selfie of her up on my computer screen, literally where I'm sitting right now, right? And that that was the kind of the multiplier of picture of her and me that really helps because you got that brand recognition of my first degree followers seeing me and also of the subject matter can be really good. The other thing, so if I look at my best performing post, it's just a picture I just nicked off the internet. I didn't even take this picture, and it's just of the subject matter, but it's not a stock image that is highly polished or well designed. It's actually a raw looking, could have been taken by me type post. And that also, the authenticity, that normal type of content really stands out in the feed because people buy people. And I don't have a post that has done really, really well where it's been an overly created, designed image. Because those images, if we go back to the classic feed, those images that are overly designed, look at this. So Sarah up 5.25%. This is designed and a nice photo, but it's a promoted ad. This is an ad. So we're getting used to seeing these designed things by ads. And so you want to move away from it. So I'm just trying to show you another example. So here you go. Microsoft, a designed piece of content, it's an ad. So whenever I'm seeing stuff that does well, this is not an ad, right? And so this is, feels a little bit more natural because it's a video, right? So the things that are actual first degree pictures, none of them that do well are overly designed. The sort of the caveat to this is carousels. So this is a carousel. Carousels do well, okay, but they are a carousel because of the interaction. But here you go, an ad, and this is kind of an overly well designed. So as we're scrolling through, we're kind of used to seeing anything that's a little bit hyper polished is what we would normally scroll past because it's overly designed and doesn't do well, or even just stuff that is designed doesn't seem to, do great, right? So that's super important when we're talking about the image. The next thing to think about, and let's just go back to the feed, is then thinking about the actual content that you're going to be using or we're be talking about. And so we talk about this topical post. And if you can try and get yourself into the feed and get impressions, what I'm seeing, if I just make this my 7 day, so look at this the past 7 days, the posts that still do well have long legs on them, right? So this was posted 2 weeks ago, yet in the current week, the last 7 days, I'm still getting over 6,500 impressions. That flag one was 3 weeks ago, and I'm still getting 5,000 impressions, right? This Angela Rayner 1 week ago, and I'm still getting 2,500 impressions. They have long tails on these posts that do well. And so that's what LinkedIn's really doing. So it's not just the day that you post this, actually, the tail of this content is great. This is one that I posted 22 hours ago. And again, it's got a number of the key assets around the other ones that do well. Now, not everyone lands, but this one is going to continue, I imagine, to do well. Picture of me with an image that I've been able to put over the top of some sort of blackboard here with a tax picture in there. So I've edited that slightly, but it's still messy. And then 5 billion of AI investment from Google didn't just happen, tax break did, right? Finally, the government has woken up to the idea that tax brings big business, right? So those opening two sentences and the selfie type image with something that's maybe relevant to the content, that's set up well for success. And at the moment, 22 hours in, it's got 1,600 impressions and it's got 58 comments, and the comments are doing well. This will be likely to achieve some success, right? So those are the first two things, image and the opening two sentences. The next piece is around the actual content of it. And so the content does not need to be big when we're thinking about these hyper successful posts, right? So for example, this call to action one. So if I go back to let's just go back to all the bigger ones. The call to action one where I talk about this free AI bot, I'm simply just making a post that's very short. It's short sentences, it's bullet points. And I'm simply saying, yesterday I launched this free tool. Do you want this stuff? It does this, this, and this. If you want the link, comment yes, and I'll send it over. So the content doesn't need to be big, but having a clear call to action and getting comments that would either one, spark debate, or for people to be put their nose out of joint by the content you're putting out to create debate. And we'll go on to those couple of ones in a second. But when it's a call to action one, when you're giving away value, don't put the link to it in the post. Instead of putting the link to it, get people to comment and then DM them. And when they DM, don't just send them the link in the DM in the comments, send it via direct message. Why? Because 1,541 comments. So that's 1,500 people here that have commented on this post. And they might just be like, yes, yes, please, yes, 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 yes. So loads of people asking for it. And then what you can see here is that I'm going back and this will be a like by me, like. And that's just me making a note that I have actually gone back and I've messaged them, right? So here where someone's saying yes, what I will be doing is that we'll be reviewing this person. We will be looking at their profile. We will be commenting and direct messaging them with the link to the free AI bot. And by them asking for this, this means that you can see that that's probably 700 odd leads of people who are interested in a piece of content we do. And of course, me talking about LinkedIn and helping people with LinkedIn, seeing people interested in a LinkedIn bot, that's great. So if you can create a free tool that's related to your subject and you don't just give it out online, you say to people, hey, would you like this? And this is just the picture of the tool and me, and exactly the same as that Angela Rayner style post, but done like this. Can you see how this has engineered a number of comments, and those comments is then continue to help the reach? Because if Nicola here is saying yes, that then also means that we are able to, her first, second degree connections probably saw this because she commented on this, like we showed in the first scroll test. And so if I show most relevant at the start, when we're looking out at this, um, we were doing, and I just kind of go down here, we were replying back. I mean, there's so many here that it got difficult to reply back to everyone, so we just liked it. But we were replying back and saying, yes, we've sent it, it's been sent, and just messaging back. So our comments, so I was commenting back on everybody that was commenting to say yes. And I say I mean, I use my VA to be able to help do all of this and manage this because once you start to get up to these sort of numbers, then it's definitely good to have someone helping you with this because obviously it becomes a bit of a tool itself or becomes a bit of a job in itself, right? So that's the way that that works. And so you've got to have created some sort of great info swap for that. But if you want the easiest way to do this, and this is where the GPT is going to help you today, take something that is a notable thing in the news, right? So here's another one. The wealth tax sounds good until it doesn't, right? And so this is me having a rant about the wealth tax, and that was a topical thing at the time. And then again, selfie. And the beauty of this is look at those comments, 572 comments. Now the thesis is here is what you're trying to do is you're trying to get people to debate each other in your comments. So some people might agree with the wealth tax, some people might not agree with the wealth tax, some people might not know what it is. And so if you can get comments that go into here, and then I go back and comment back, but you can see here that Chris has commented and then Sean's commented on Chris. And further down the line, you will see lots of examples of this. So you can see Sean's commenting, and then a different Sean's commenting, and then I'm commenting, and Sean's commenting, and then Sean's commenting and sharing links to other stuff, and then Sean's having another comment. You're basically creating this debate that's happening in the chat. And that's unbelievably good for impressions and reach because the more people that start to debate in there, and if you can spice up that debate, the better, right? Super, super important. So, how do you create a post like this? Now, here's the GPT that I'm going to share with you guys today. And let me just put this link into the chat, right? And so I'm putting that in there now. Copy this. So this is an inside track on the type of things that my team we offer VAs to our clients to be able to go do all this stuff, and we build out these custom GPTs to be able to help to harness some of these ideas. So you're seeing one that has been designed for our VAs to help our clients. So you can have a play with it, but it comes with a caveat that it's going to kind of come from a VA's perspective to be able to deliver a piece of content for clients, right? So you can see how that might work. And of course, if you don't have time to do this regularly, then obviously please do talk to us about having a VA in your business. They are all surrounded by these AI tools and they're hyper trained by our team and they're brilliant to be able to help people do this. Great. So if you press start here with this, the the GPT will kick off. I hope it will do. I don't know why it's gone slow now. Is it because I'm streaming? Let me just, perfect, great stuff. And so what it's going to do is going to ask for your business positioning statements. Now, if you've used any of these GPTs that I built before, you may well know what this means. But if you don't, there's a link here to a second GPT that helps you to put your business positioning statements in. I'm not going to go through that now because you can go do that in your own time. But ultimately, it helps you to build out your niche statement, your value proposition, your problem statement, your solution statement, right? So I'm going to copy paste this and just chuck this into the GPT. Why do we do this? Because it allows the GPT to now know a lot about you. So now all we have to do is find the newsworthy article, paste that in, and it's going to know everything it needs to know about you and everything it needs to know about the topic. So let's go do that. Now, here's the thing. Where do you go and find a topical post? Well, LinkedIn tells you. LinkedIn tells you where the topical posts are. So if you just go up to home and look on the right hand side, LinkedIn news. And here's the top story, show more. This is the top news stories. And you can see here there's a breaking news. That's the thing that's happening right now. But then you can see these other things. You can see, 41,000 readers on this, 31,000 readers on this. You can go through this and see what's actually going on in this and go find stuff and go, okay, well, what kind of makes me feel interested now? So you can go down and go, okay, cool. Well, look, there's one here about the ozone healing. after a global push. And maybe that's something that I find interesting and it's something that I would like to comment on. Maybe I'm a little bit bored of talking about AI and everything else. So I can sort of go through here and I can see what the top level kind of synopsis is from the editor in LinkedIn News. But then you look at the top perspectives, and this will give you an insight into actually how can your post go viral? Because if you get shown up as a top perspective, then whoosh, you're off to the races, right? So this person here is talking about this ozone layer thing, and he's posting this piece from the UN. This person's here, and as you can start to see things like the hashtags coming in and at tagging the companies that this is about. So the World Meteorological Organization, he's at tagged, so that helps, and then you can actually see the link to the full press release. So this is helping this person get right into this feed and being shown, right? So it gives you some nice opportunities to see how content can do well with this. But the type of content I think that works best is not necessarily trying to rewrite the article, is trying to create a bit more of an opinion piece. So what you can do is you can just do a little bit of a Google, go on and just maybe find some of the origin sources of this and click onto something like this and find the article, right? So this shows the ozone layer is recovering. Cool. So take the press release or the article, or go onto the BBC News site and find something about, Charlie Kirk, or find something about, Trump going to Windsor Castle, or whatever it is that you might like. Copy that, right? So if I copy this one about the ozone layer recovering, and you just literally just grab it all, right? Press copy, put into this GPT, press paste. So you've now primed it with a bit about you and also a bit about the article. Now, the final thing it wants is just 2 or 3 sentences about what your opinion is on this, right? And this can be rough and ready. And you can just say, look, skip it and just give me something that you think would be work. But I'm going to go give it a couple of sentences, right? So here's like a good Blue Peter badge holder. Here's what I made earlier. I feel that with all the craziness in this world, and with Trump rocking up to Windsor to meet the King this week, we're in danger of missing some fantastic progress and a rare news story. The ozone layer is shrinking, and we're finally seeing real progress in this area. Are we doing enough? Or are we in danger of letting climate change slip off the agenda altogether as the new anti-green politics start to take hold, right? So I'm just giving it some, that's probably more polished than I would normally do because obviously you guys are here. Mine's all spelt wrong and just like a couple of ranty notes. But then that's all it. Now, what it's going to create is the topic. Now, please ignore this email because this is for my VAs. My VAs send an email to my clients to say, hey, here's a new topical post concept. So just ignore this piece, but go down to here. So we're giving you 3 opening suggestions. So we talked about those first 2 lines being vital. There's 3 different opening suggestions here you can use, right? And so you can see here, like there's one, finally some environment worth celebrating, or while headlines are full of political drama, we risk missing one of the biggest wins for humanity. The ozone layer is healing. So we can sort of take this and then we can say, we've got the full body here, but I'm going, well, here's the question: with climate change pressuring mounting anti-green policies going, what do you think is the moment proof we can win if we stay on course, or warning not to take our foot off the gas, right? So then some nice hashtags. So we're giving you a body text, the opening lines as options, and the hashtags to use. Then we also talk about a photo suggestion, right? So maybe a selfie outdoors with blue backdrops, etc. And then we also give you the origin source in case you want to reference it in there, right? And so also note, don't add an outbound link, ideally, right? So here's how we would take this. I would probably go back and say, can you add something about Trump um, in the title if I want to make it more interesting. And so now it could give me a couple more options for this sort of Trump related thing in the title, right? So it's going to say, well, Trump visits Windsor Castle, dominates the headlines. The real story is what we're talking about is this: the ozone layer is finally healing. Trump meets King, but the planet may just have scored an even bigger win. Cool. Okay. Right. So I'm being a little bit light here. So I'm going to take this title And so I'm going to chuck this in to the feed. I'm going to put this in as a new post. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to chuck this first title in as a post. And then I'm going to give it a couple of breaks. And I'm going to go back to this and I'm going to get my full body in here. And I'm going to just get that. Perfect. Throw this in here. And this is going to now just make sure we get some nice gaps going on here. Whenever I see an dash, by the way, I just do a comma. I don't even need to worry about it. God knows why they haven't solved this with ChatGPT yet. Those bloody dashes. And so, what do you think? The moment is there, and I also like to just can I have a point hand? I do this all the time. Where here we go. There you go. Which one do you mean? That one. I just feel if you're going to do a call to action in a post, and this is why it's useful for me to post this whilst we're on the call together. Um, this just sort of helps people see what the call to action here. But here's the question: with climate changing pressure mounting, with anti-green policy going, are we at risk of letting climate slip off the agenda? What do you think? Um, I'm just going to go. What do you think? There you go. So now that's a nice little post that works like this. And then the next thing that I'll be doing is need to get the post right. So I've taken a photo, not that one, that was the old one. Oh, actually, I think I've just loaded it into my desktop. Here you go. So the photo that I've taken is simply follows that structure of me sitting right where I am now with pictures of the ozone layer. That's it. And so when I edit this, I normally try and make it a square picture that could work well, like this. And I can press apply because it just makes it easier in the feed. Then you want to add the alt text, ozone layer shrinking. Oh, uh, shrinking. My when everybody's looking at me, is ozone layer shrinking. And then I put, so this is the all text. So what this means is that you're describing the text to the kind of algorithm of what's actually in the picture because it can't read the picture. So you put that in, press next, and that's it. So the Trump meets the king, but the planet may have scored an even bigger win. The ozone layer is shrinking, right? And so I do like dot 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 to be able to do it. It's not gonna hit 100,000 views this one, but it's a nice story and actually worth posting. A good news story for once to be able to worth posting. Now that can work really really nicely, and here you go. So nice post, picture works well. Hopefully there'll be some interesting comments around this. I don't think it's totally out there in terms of something that works well. But I talked about the AI investment already yesterday, so that can work well. So you see how easy that is to put together, and using that GPT, that will really help. Okay, guys. So what I want to do now is just take some questions and some thoughts and feedback. Do remember, this is here for you to be able to play with and work through. And I'd love you to work out what you think of it. And the second thing is, if you like the AI tools that we have, then I want to open up a free weekly AI tool for everybody. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly get the link to sign up for the free AI tool. And as I do, can people, if you've got a question, could you just quickly use the react button and raise your hand? So I've got a couple of people across the top who might have questions that they want to answer, and I've got a link for you guys to be able to join this free weekly AI tool. I'm just going to dig it out. So I'm going to give away a free AI tool like that each week. 2 seconds. Come on. Okay. Sites funnel. Stay tuned because every single week I'm going to give you one of those tools for free as an email. I thought I had the page up, which is why I'm fiddling around. Okay, cool. Here we go. So thank you, Richard. I'm going to take your question. I'm just going to quickly show everybody this. So jump on. This is the page here. So unlock an AI business growth tool every week. Get exclusive access to a free AI tool that fuels reach, simplifies content, and power your growth. So go straight into your inbox. So that's what we're going to be sharing. So just what we'll do, we'll answer some questions, but just click this in the chat now. Just click this and open it up on another tab, and then you can come and watch it because on the thank you page, there's another video for you guys to watch. So watch that directly after this call because that's loads of value. We'll keep it ready for you to watch after this call. Cool. Richard, over to you. You're muted, buddy.
Thank you. It's a question I think a few of us are sort of asking in the chat at least, but in slightly different ways. So we're all sort of thinking, if we've got a business, I'll take mine just as the example. So leadership, I'm trying to build thought leadership up around talking about leadership. If I suddenly start talking about flags or taxation, I can do tax because that was my old world, but I'm suddenly talking about something that doesn't relate to the business. And I'm around 3,500 followers. So I still need to be really building up the brand on that piece. So I guess there's a sort of twofold bit. One is, I guess ideally, the other thing is find something that's newsworthy that I can link to then here's a leadership thing. So it links through. So I've got the two together. But also I think others are quite interested in if you've got the flags piece, which obviously doesn't have anything to do with LinkedIn for Business, Million Dollar Sprint, etc. How is that linking through to what you're doing on the business piece? So what's the
So
process with that?
so really easy. Make sure that they do all have a point to them, right? The ozone layer one, I probably could have made a little bit more related to it, but just on the leadership one, for example, let's just go on to posts here, and I totally say the point that you've got to try and make these work in terms of so obviously the tax one, as you already said, that was related. Let me just show you a good example of a leadership one. So where is it? Hmm. Have I gone past it? Let's go last 14 days.
Because just while you're looking for it, Richard, I guess the one of the easy things is often to knock something that's happening on the leadership piece, but that's not
Yeah.
then showing my personality because I don't want to be doing that. But I can easily take Trump being in the UK and have a pop at him. But that's not what I do, and it's not showing my personality. So trying to work
You,
those through.
Yeah. So here's one about the government reshuffle, right? So David Lammy being the government reshuffle, me saying, "Oh dear," and what did this one do? So 12,000 reviews, 1,200 views, 18 comments, etc. And this was imagine tearing up your leadership team every year. That's essentially what a government reshuffle is. That's what's happening right now, right? And so you're taking something that's happening and then you're going, right, what if this was actually a larger company? Imagine if FTSE 100 company rotated its chief operating officer every 10 months, you know? So can you see how you can easily relate this back? And then, of course, then you start to go, well, if the government approached like a well-run business, we would do this, do this, do this. So that's exactly how you would put this sort of front and center. Now you don't have to like have a moan or a pop at people with it, but you know, you can go and take some good news stories, or you can, you know, that if I was thinking about the ozone one, and if I was writing this without everybody looking at me doing it, I'd probably be saying about how, you know, coming together as a community can help to solve something. And then I could relate that back to small business and actually how we can try and all support each other to be able to help people go faster, better, whatever it is online. And so it's just trying to relate it back. And actually, in the instructions for that GPT, it will give you, that's why we upload it with our business position statement. It will try and work out that kind of related to your topic subject, an angle with it, unless you're really forcing, you know, those 2 or 3 line sentences, unless you're really forcing it to go down a certain road, it will try and relate it back to your business positioning statements that you uploaded. So
Now, as you've been talking, I can see ways it would actually work. now. So
That's good. Give
that's
give us an
great.
example. Give us an example. Just
Just actually where you were talking on the ozone, which would be a very odd thing for me to post on, but then you get that it catches people's attention if all they keep seeing is leadership. But ozone links with community concern, which is one of the creative competencies that actually really marks leaders out and systems
there you
thinking.
go.
So
You
it's
got it.
straight away I'm seeing a link there that I didn't see
You,
before. So it's
you
really
got it.
helpful.
You got it. No, that's great. And also, so for example, ozone. So leadership, we need to show better leadership to make sure that this stays on the agenda, as opposed to being fall off the agenda with the anti-green kind of
Mm,
rhetoric that we're seeing. We need some of the leaders to actually stand up within the, whatever, right? And so there's loads of angles. You just got to just try and spend a little bit of time lingering, which is why a GPT can be really useful because it kind of gets you out of your head, gets some stuff out there and goes again. So really, really cool.
good stuff.
Um,
Thank you.
no worries. Okay, want to take some further questions. So two things, guys. So one, remember in that chat. So if you're looking at this and thinking this stuff is really good. So there's kind of two things to do. So one, just remember there's that tool here to jump into. That's going to give you, and there's a video training every single week that goes with these. So next, I think this Thursday at 8:30. So tomorrow at 8:30, we're dropping a viral poll AI tool that's going to be coming out of here as well. So you'll be able to get that to have a look at it. And the final thing I do until I ask another question, if you have not had a free LinkedIn profile audit, then you're crazy because we will go onto your LinkedIn profile and we will work through it on a one-to-one with you and show you what's going wrong with your headline, what photos should you be using, how to maximize recommendations. If you haven't booked that, it's totally for free. There's only 4 slots. Crikey, there's only 4 slots there this week. Well, for this month, that is it. Next Tuesday, that is it. That's all we've got left in the diary. So just go in there, just trick your LinkedIn profile in so we can do some work beforehand just to look at it. And we will have a one-to-one with you and let you know what we think should be done. So two big things there. So jump onto that weekly growth tool and also book your LinkedIn profile audit. Okay, Mark, over to you, sir.
Yeah, I just wanted to say actually, I just recently joined your $1 million sprint program, and all this stuff is included in it. And I'm a month in, and I'm loving the process. I'm loving how it all works. And if you're not involved, I'd get on board. And Richard
Oh,
didn't ask me to say that, so
I didn't.
it's
Thank you
great.
so
It's really
much.
good.
I do appreciate that. That is incredibly kind of you because you're a long time LinkedIn for breakfaster,
Yeah.
and it's great to see you in the program and more. All the nice thing about these AI tools that each one that we're kind of releasing is what our team are going to be doing for the clients. So it's that kind of bridge between okay, great. There's never one of these harebrained ideas of Richard's and then you need this bridge to actually get someone to do the thing every day, every week for you. And then that's what we kind of do with $1 million sprint. So if you're interested in that, but thank you, Mark. Don't even worry about that, guys, because it's a free. Jump onto a LinkedIn profile audit. Let us just give you some value. Go through your LinkedIn profile and then help you with that. And then if there's an opportunity to talk about that on that call, we will do. Cool. Deborah, over to you. Thanks, Mark.
Hi. I wanted to say a bit like Mark. I think I joined a couple of months ago, and I found it so interesting. I mean, been a member of LinkedIn for about 14 years, but literally didn't use it apart from when I was job hunting, like many people. So now I use it more. I'm trying to grow as a coach, and I can just see the value in LinkedIn. I recently joined another organization and they seem to favor Facebook. Um, and I think you did do a session on Facebook ads, didn't you? And a few weeks ago, will you be repeating that? Because I'm loving LinkedIn. Facebook just seems a bit old school, but there you go. I don't know. It's just me.
Yeah, so within $1 Million Sprint, we do sessions on Facebook ads. We run Facebook ads. Ironically, we run Facebook ads into a LinkedIn challenge because we're pushing LinkedIn. I'm a big believer, and I do a session on this within LinkedIn for Breakfast about the power of one. So if you can have one social media platform that you go super deep on, then suddenly you stop like trying to just go, here's a post and I blanket it across all the different social medias and it's never working. You just start to create content that is specific for that one platform. And you start to look at what content works well on that platform and you try things and you look at the numbers and you do more and you build up connections that you see each day on the platform. You can't do that on, 1 minute you're dancing the funky chicken on TikTok and the next minute you're trying to do a highbrow current affairs post on LinkedIn. Your brain, you've got to do the day job, right? So your brain can't work that way. So it's better to carve out half an hour a day to just go full hog on one social media. You might be a YouTuber, God, that might be the thing that is your thing, right? But if you just did that one platform every day, you would get so much more results than if you tried to stretch yourself across all of them. And so I've chosen LinkedIn clearly, and we get great results and great lead generation from it. Now I do use ads, and I don't like LinkedIn ads are not there for me at the moment. It's so much cheaper to be able to buy leads from Facebook. I have ads running from Facebook, and we've tested everything clearly, and we're getting, it was sort of £7-8 a lead on LinkedIn, and it was about £3 a lead on Facebook. So it made logical, and the quality was similar. So it made logical sense to just run Facebook ads. But other than that, it's just, my VAs will just duplicate the content I'm putting out on LinkedIn onto those other social media platforms to keep them warm, but we're not working them. We're not working them at all. So that's what my recommendation would be to you. Find your place and just become epic there. No drama. Got time for another question. People have got it. Is there anything in the
Richard, I had a question in the chat, which was just about hashtags.
Yes.
You used them in your post. I thought hashtags were dead. Are they?
I think there is no problem giving some signposts to the algorithm to say this is what this content is about. I like 3 because I just feel like I don't want to blend or blur the lines. And so if I'm posting about AI and Google and UK investment, i.e. Google's invested in the UK for this, and my title says that, and I'm talking about that in the content, then having those hashtags at the bottom is just another little bit keyword optimization around those things. Plus, you saw we did that alt text on the picture. I would also try and make sure I put those hashtags, or not hashtags, but those words into that alt text. So the picture is being talked about Google and the 1 billion investment is the UK AI. The hashtags say that, and the title and the content says that. Then the likelihood of being seen in that newsworthy feed or being pushed to people who else are interested or talk about AI content is far higher. So the thesis never goes away. It may, when people say, "Oh, hashtags don't matter anymore," they don't work for LinkedIn. They don't know. What they're saying is they're not seeing such an important point made of hashtags, i.e., it's not being such a major ranking factor that they can work out because there's things that are far more important, like those opening sentences, the image, etc. But from someone with an SEO background and someone that's really studying the algorithm, you've got to give it signposts because it's not there to kind of it's not in your head. It's only you can only work with the content it's given.
Yes.
And so the content has got to have had an initial push, so it's done well with likes and comments, which is why things like the pod that we do on Tuesday within LinkedIn Breakfast is great because that gives that initial push. But then it's got to continue its journey of having likes and comments, which is why getting people to comment and talk about it in the chat can be helpful because that's what it's seeing. And then when it starts to see a post doing well organically, it will review it and go, "Oh, okay." And it will give it a push to the push to the second or third degree connections. And so that's where the hashtags can really help.
Thank you.
Signposts. Think about it as
Yeah.
little signposts.
I mean, if I'm able to add, if no one else is waiting, but actually on the Tuesday pod, I I've actually seen obviously an increase in numbers of comments and likes on my posts on Tuesdays. Of course, it's reciprocated, absolutely lovely. But weirdly, there's hardly been any difference in the reach, as in the number of views. So I think something's not working for me, and I don't know if anyone else has witnessed that, but my views hasn't gone up, even though it might be 20 people commenting rather than two, but my views haven't gone up.
So what I would say around that is that if you are just having once a week on the same week that one push and you're getting lots of likes and comments, then it will just feel unnatural within the feed. And so what I would recommend to many of you is to go, well, actually, I do this one with Richard on Tuesday, but maybe I could put a little WhatsApp group of a few friends together where we do it on a Thursday, or we do something on a different day to try and put a bit more of a natural blend. And the second thing, which is probably the most important bit, if the post was never going to do well without that, it's not
Yeah,
going to do well with it. And
yeah,
so if you haven't got a great image with a viral kind of headline type thing, and it's the subject that's not going to actually make interest or something interesting happening, then it's not going to have the same sort of reach. So
yeah.
you're
Maybe just I'm just a crap writer because it has been considered before. But yeah, it's
I'm
it's
sure
it's
you're
just frustrating. It's just frustrating that I can see some amazing results with that, but it just not worked for me, and I'm not sure why.
Yeah, and it's probably because it's just in your week, there's an unnatural spike of comments, and so you're not gifted the
Yeah,
boost because it's starting to look a little bit too suspicious, maybe. Because LinkedIn will see that, right?
yeah.
So you
Okay.
want to have a blend. Rachel, over to you. Last question. Can you hear me, Rachel?
Sorry, I couldn't get
Yeah.
my mute off. With the intro line that you were saying at the beginning, some of the posts that you showed there was like some of it was 3 words before it then said click more. Some of it was a couple of sentences before it went to
Yeah.
more. Can you navigate your way around that, or is that
Yeah,
purely down to LinkedIn what they decide
no, it is.
how much is in your intro line?
It's actually really easy. You only get three, but if your first sentence goes over 2 lines and then you leave a gap in the paragraph, it will only show that because actually the second sentence is actually on the fourth line because this first sentence has gone over the first two, then the gap for the paragraph, and then the fourth line will be
Ah,
there.
right, okay.
So you get three. You can see here one, gap, two, show more. 3 lines because they're all back to back. So
Right.
here's the three different ways that you could approach that. Obviously, it doesn't really matter, but if you're trying to get a lot in, you can try and cram it like this, but you are in danger of just getting too much text to not catch the eye. Something
Mm,
like this is quite a nice headline, and then you're almost kind of like subheading, and then big statement. And
yeah.
actually, to be honest with you, if I was kind of critiquing this top one, which obviously is done well anyway, but if I could have made this sentence just fit onto one line and then see the next sentence underneath, that would have been better. I think this is probably the ultimate. This is what I'd say is
Okay.
the sweet spot.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
No worries. Great guys. Well, look, we're at time now. So $1 million sprinters, we've got our 10 o'clock drop-in session. So I'm going to close the room down and then I'm going to reopen it and we're going to drop into our drop-in clinic where we will talk about any questions that you guys might have about the entire marketing space. LinkedIn for Breakfast crew, fantastic to see you. Really, really cool. So I'll either see you in a LinkedIn profile audit or I'll see you next week at LinkedIn for Breakfast, 9 a.m. UK time. Big love. Take care. See you on the flip
Thanks.
side.
Bye.
Bye.